I'm Kevin.
And I'm Lydia.
And today we're going to show you how to make lasagna. Want
Right.
to see what it's going to look like? Because it looks like that, and it looks good. First thing we need to do is chop the onion.
Right.
Don't shake it. I want to make your hole bigger so you can get it out easier. Okay, that looks like an onion. Pan, add a little bit of oil. Use the non-sharp side. You won't have to. Well, you won't have to sharpen as often. Avoid doing things that make the knife dull. Okay, so
How much should I put in?
no, just add some. I'll tell you when. That's good. That's way too much. That's way too much. Not really any way to get some out of it. So, just more than we need. We only need about, come here, we need to make a little puddle about 1/3 of the size of what you did. So get a spatula, one of the wooden spatulas, and go ahead and stir it around so that we're going to need 2 pounds of hamburger.
So 2 of these?
2 of those. Well, we're going to let the onions cook about. Eventually we want the onions to be
Clear.
sort of clear, yeah. Right now they're not. So we don't want to cook the onions into oblivion, but it's going to take. Well, it's not even hot yet. It's still warming up. It takes about 6 minutes or 7 minutes or so for onions to cook until they're translucent, which is where you can see through them a little bit. So they'll keep cooking after we add the hamburger, but if we add the hamburger at the same time as the onions, I've found from experience that the onions don't necessarily get cooked all the way through. So I always cook them a little bit before I add the hamburger. We might as well go ahead and add the garlic.
Okay.
Too. So go ahead and get the minced garlic out. Yeah, that's right. Minced garlic. And we'll just get a normal spoon. Alright. And we'll add a decent spoonful of garlic. There you go. Set the lid down. Grab this. That's probably more than you need. That's probably good. So that's probably about a tablespoon, which is, if you look on here, half a teaspoon equals 1 clove of garlic, and a tablespoon is equal to 3 teaspoons. So that's about 6 cloves of garlic. And Lydia, when you put stuff in like that, you might as well go like that and knock the garlic off the spoon so it's not just wasted into the sink.
Okay.
So go ahead and stir that together again after you put that away. So how long has it been?
I don't know, like 2 or 3 minutes maybe?
Well, you need to pay attention. You either need to set a timer or you need to watch the clock. Easiest to set a timer. So get the hamburger opened up. You can see it's cooking nicely right now. And we know it doesn't take that long to get the onions cooked part way. So probably
Chop up the meat.
yeah, so we need to chop up the meat. You know how to do it? Okay, go ahead and do that.
I did almost exactly the same thing yesterday while I was making tacos.
Yeah, preparing the hamburger is as common for various dishes, including tacos and chili
Lasagna.
and lasagna and spaghetti. There are a lot of things that require hamburger onions. Start getting our big pan ready. We need to fill this probably about 2/3 of the way full with water. This is what we're going to cook our lasagna noodles in. So we just need to fill that up. So if you look at the onions, you can see that they're getting translucent, which is where you want them to be. Go ahead and grab the salt and pepper. Now that we've got things chopped up pretty well, we'll just add a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, so we added some salt and pepper, and our hamburger smells how, Lydia?
It smells like hamburger and onions mixed together.
Does it smell good or bad?
Good.
Alright, yeah, it smells nice. Okay, so yeah, so there's onion, garlic, salt, pepper in here. Okay, and it's
Cooking.
just about done. See, it's nice and brown, so we're about to add our sauce. We also need a can of tomato paste.
Yeah.
And we're going to need the basil.
What?
We're going to need the dried basil.
Okay, just a minute.
And tomato paste. Open that up. Get a small spoon. We'll need that to...
Cute little can.
yeah, open it up. to drain the hamburger as well. It's got a lot of juice in there. It'll make the sauce too runny if we leave all that in. Okay, so I'm just going to use a can to hold the juice. I'll pour it out. Got that back on the stove. Now we're ready to add the sauce.
And the paste.
Yeah. Okay, so we also have our water on the stove now. You can see the burner's getting hot. It's all the way up. Just put the lid on that. So first thing we'll do is add the sauce. And try to get as much as we can out of the jar. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, now Lydia, make sure that's over the pan. And put it on the side of get it off the spoon. Dig it all the way to the bottom. Pull it forward. We want to get this in here quickly. It's taking a little too long because now it's starting to spit. When you want to get this stirred some, maybe you just need to take a break if you're not working fast enough and start stirring this. Because otherwise there's one spot at the very bottom that gets really hot in the sauce and it wants to bubble, and when it does it shoots out the top and makes a big mess.
Yes.
And it might get on you, so you don't want that either. We need the basil. Now. We'll go ahead and add that now. And once we add the basil, we've got everything in our sauce. We just need to let it simmer for a little while. That gives the
how much do we need?
That gives the flavors a chance to kind of mix around in the sauce. Yeah, that'll be nice. Ooh, that made a mess too. Alright, sometimes it's messy. Alright, just forget about that. Alright, so here's our basil. Sweet basil leaf. Yeah, it's just dried basil. We got a big thing. Okay, so I usually give it about 5 shakes. 3, 4, 5. So you want about that much on the top. See how much is there? Yeah, go ahead and don't put your hand over it, Lydia. You gotta be a little more quick. Okay, so we probably had the burner set a little too high because it's being real quick about that. If you see the top starting to bubble like that, Lydia, get your hand out of the way.
Yeah.
Alright, so it can be a little messy.
So how's our water?
So it's just as well we didn't clean the stove before we started. It's not boiling yet.
No.
Okay. The other things we need to get ready are the cheeses. Lydia, go ahead and grate the mozzarella cheese. We're going to need that soon. Yeah, actually there's part of one in here as well. Go ahead and grate that up also. We'll use it all. Go ahead. We've got 3 cheeses we're going to use. We've got mozzarella cheese, we've got ricotta cheese,
I think we're doing Parmesan.
And Parmesan cheese.
3 cheese lasagna.
Yeah.
And here we have our mozzarella cheese.
Yeah. If you do them both, please. And I'll chop this one in half just so it's easier to deal with.
You can come around here if you like.
Yeah. You try to grate a big block of cheese all at once. It's a little tough. So normally we'd use 16 ounces of mozzarella cheese. That's what this big block is. We had a little bit left from something else, so we'll just go ahead and use that too.
The more the better.
Be a little extra cheesy. see. So it's about 4:15. We usually have dinner about 5:30. So we've got an hour and 10 minutes.
Yay.
Water still hasn't boiled. It's getting warm. But yeah, still a ways off from boiling. I can keep my hand on there with no problem. Alright. So this is going to have plenty of time to simmer. It's still going to be another at least 5 minutes before the water boils. And then we have to cook our lasagna noodles to get them soft.
No, plenty of time to grate this cheese.
Yeah, it's actually possible to add the uncooked noodles to the lasagna pan and not cook them ahead of time. This isn't our lasagna pan. This is the same. We'll have one like this, but this one's dirty. Let's get out of our way too. So it's possible to use the uncooked noodles, but the lasagna turns out a little drier. I don't like it quite as well. You have to cook it in the oven longer, which will be the last step of our making lasagna.
There's the pans we're going to use for lasagna.
So I'm going to put these away wet, which is good.
We're going to have plenty of cheese.
Pans. So we're going to have...
Bigger and smaller.
Yep. Alright, you can see the sauce is simmering nicely. If you look through there, you can see little bubbles coming through. Might want to give it a stir now and then. I always like to shake it just a little before I pick up the lid. That helps to avoid any big bubbles from popping up right after you pick up the lid. So it's not very likely that your sauce would burn on the bottom, but it's possible, especially if you got the burner set too high. Water still hasn't boiled, but it's getting hot. That's good. Sometimes I'll add some oil to the water, just a little bit. That'll help the noodles
not stick together.
Yeah. So just a little bit helps to coat the surface of the noodles a little, so they don't stick together quite as much as they would otherwise. Let's see. So after we cook the noodles, we're going to need this big colander to strain them. So we'll have that ready. And you just carefully do this. You just have to be a little. You can actually tell if the water's boiling just by touching the top of the pan. See whether you feel it bubbling. You feel anything, Lydia?
No.
No. So yeah, if you look inside, there's no bubbles.
Well, there's a few sticking to the side and the bottom.
Yeah. It's
none bubbling up and popping.
It's close to boiling, but not quite yet.
Do we need to stir that? Or is it fine?
It should be fine. If you've got the burner set too high, there's a chance it could burn. I usually do give it a little stir periodically just to make sure.
Yep.
But it may not be required. If you cooked it for a long time, then it might.
Yep.
If the bottom of your pan is thin, this pan's got a decent bottom, fairly thick metal, less chance that it's going to burn when the metal. So just about time to put the noodles in. So we can go ahead and open up our box. This is what they look like.
It looks like a lasagna noodle.
Nice lasagna noodles. They're hard. Sometimes you'll find that some of them are already broken before you even do anything. These look like they're in pretty good shape, which is good. You want them to be in good shape.
Yep.
So I'm just going to go ahead and put these in. It's very close to boiling, and well, it'll come back to a boil pretty soon. So you pull out the noodles. I don't usually just turn the box upside down, because there are sometimes little pieces down in there. This way we only get the whole ones. Putting two boxes into this big pan, they don't quite fit down in there at first, but it's important that they be in the water, so pretty quickly they soften a little bit and you can squish them down in. Let's get this out of here. Here, Lydia, why don't you set that over there? Yeah. So we do stir the noodles periodically to help make sure they don't stick together. And so we're kind of paying attention to how soft the noodles are. So they're a little bit pliable right now, but they're not really pliable. So you can see that like that one's still holding it like an angle shape from when it was in the water. We want them a little bit softer so that they're easier to work with.
We want them to be nice and squishy.
Yeah. So the sauce has been simmering for about 20 minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and shut it off. Get a hot pad and set it over there. We're going to get ready for assembling our lasagna. And we need to have this close to where we're going to do it. So, pan's hot. So we're just going to set this right here so it's convenient for adding sauce to the lasagna as we put it together. So the noodles they look like they're pretty soft now.
Woo!
They're kind of, pick them up and they kind of swing back and forth a little bit.
Wobbly.
So I think this is soft enough for us to work with. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off, and we're going to strain them, and then we're going to get to work on our lasagna. Alright, and we should go ahead and start we need to preheat our oven, because we're going to be cooking in the oven. We're going to set it to 350. Alright, so now we start building our lasagnas. Okay, I'll go ahead and take this lid off the sauce. Lid right now. Okay. Can't reach all the ingredients here. So get that cheese a little closer. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little sauce to the bottom of each of these casserole dishes. We're going to take some of this sauce, and I try to get a little bit less meat in it, just so it's mainly just sauce. And I'll spread that around in the bottom of the pan. If you don't do this, it's going to burn on the bottom. The noodles, if the noodles are touching the bottom of the glass pan, it's going to burn while it bakes.
We don't want that.
Yeah. It's not going to be that good if it's burnt. I like to have lots of sauce. Okay, so we've got a little bit of sauce in each pan. We're going to start laying out our noodles. We want to work fairly quickly.
Before they dry out.
In the big pan, we got 3 full noodles just like that. In the small pan, it's going to hold 2.5. And that's going to depend on what pan you use. Okay, so I need to take one of these noodles, and I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to cut it lengthwise.
Can I put it on?
I'm going to do the first layer here with you. So,
okay.
And then it fits nicely. Okay, so that's the beginning, and now what we're going to do, we're gonna repeat several times. We're gonna have a few layers. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add some sauce on top of the noodles.
Don't get in the way, Isaac.
Isaac, leave the room.
Okay.
You can watch the video later. Okay, so we got a little bit of sauce on here.
Sauce is yummy.
Yep. If you don't have good sauce, you're not going to have good lasagna. So make sure you have a sauce you like. This is the sauce I like.
Me too.
Yep. Okay, so we got sauce down. Now we're going to add our 3 cheeses. So we're going to take some mozzarella.
Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle.
Add it on there. You can see I'm trying to spread it around nicely as I work. You can see about how much I put on there. Depends on how much cheese you've got. We actually have a little extra cheese today. Probably add that on the, just right on the top of the lasagna when we get done. So I added some of that. We're going to add some ricotta. This is a little different. It comes out kind of in lumps. So I just take little bits and try to throw it off the spoon. Work my way around, trying to get little bits of ricotta cheese spread around on the lasagna. It's not going to be covered as nicely and as evenly as with the mozzarella, of course. That's fine. As you bake it, it's going to spread out a little bit because it's going to melt. And the cheeses are going to kind of mix together. It's going to be nice.
Yep. Then I put some Parmesan on top of that.
Lucky guess. Alright, let's make sure our Parmesan is going to come out. Okay, so we'll just take a little Parmesan cheese and we'll kind of sprinkle that on. That'll spread nicely too. We don't want to get too much Parmesan cheese on. It's pretty intense. So we'll just add a little bit. Just give it a little more complex flavor. Okay, so that's a layer. So then we just do the same thing again. Well, they are ready to go in the oven. And the oven is preheated, so let's go ahead and put them in the oven.
Good idea.
Open it up, Lydia. And over here. And one up here. In there. And now we're going to wait about half an hour. It's 5 o'clock right now. We're going to wait about half an hour until the we're going to wait until the cheese is all the way melted. You can set a timer to remind you to check it if you want, or just watch the clock. So our lasagna is getting close to being done. So when you look in here, you can see the cheese is starting to melt. You get down here and zoom in right here on the edge of the pan. You can see the sauce is starting to bubble. You can look at both pans. You can see that little bubbles in the sauce. That's also a good indication. So we're getting close. They actually probably start to brown a little bit on the top, and that's nice too. So it's 5:31, so it's been a little while. You can see I actually bumped up the temperature in the oven right at the end up to 400. It was at 350, and you can see it's starting to get nice and brown on the top there. That'll make it tasty. You started it? Okay. So actually this is what it should look like when it's done. So it's done. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the oven, and I'm going to go ahead and take them out. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out of the oven. That's our timer to remind us to check it. Turn that off. You can see our nice lasagnas. They are very hot, of course, so you gotta be careful. I like these silicone hot pads because you don't have to worry about sauce soaking in your mitt and burning your hands. But you can see what they look like here in a little more light. They look good. Don't they look good, Isaac?
Yeah. You're making a movie?
This is hot and that's hot. Be careful.
Okay, you making a movie?
Yep. Okay.
Cooking movie.
What do you need?
A big cup.
There's not one out there? Here you go.
No. Good luck in the movie. With the movie.
It's a how-to video. Alright.
Ooh, lasagna!
Yes, look at that.
Ooh, yeah.
Very nice.
White stuff on the top.
It's cheese.
Yep. Excuse me.
It's all cheesy. Yep, cheesy.
It's like pizza. Why do you keep saying excuse me? It's not pizza. It's like pizza. Nah, I don't think it's like pizza. It's
So-
like lasagna.
Then we cut it up and we start handing it out to people. You can see what the first piece looks like here.
Thanks.
Look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good? Here, let me have your plate, Joseph.
Ooh, that's good.
Alright, look at that. That's good stuff.
That looks good.